Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 31 of the Nekozuki Knits podcast. My name is Katie, and today is Monday, June 13th, 2016. I'm coming to you from Cochrane, Alberta, Canada, and I'd like to say hello to any returning viewers and any new viewers. Thanks for joining me again, or thanks for joining me for the first time. I hope that you all enjoy it. So I know I've been trying to stick to a weekly schedule, but that hasn't been working out 100% of the time. I am in show prep season, so I do give myself a little bit more wiggle room because I don't have a lot of knitting time. So it feels really awkward for me to come on and be like, hey, I've knit a heel on a sock, but I've got a whole bunch of new things to show you that I've sewn for the shop. Because I do want the main theme of this podcast not to be the shop, but my actual knitting and my reading, which I apparently did a bunch of this past week. I think I've got like half a dozen books I'm going to talk to you about. Granted, they're moderate length. They're not like tomes, but I was a little bit surprised to see that I'd read that much in 10 days. Or whenever it was. I think, 10 days exactly, actually. I've got my notes from last episode here. And I am working on a second cup of coffee, so I'm sorry if I drink from it. But it is a knitting-related cup. All you need is tea and warm socks. So it's very rare right now that I do drink a second cup of coffee in the day. Usually about maybe once a week I'll do it. Simply because earlier, excuse me, for about the past year, and especially earlier this year, my anxiety got really bad. And one of the things I did do to kind of mitigate the physical effects of it is cut back on my coffee. And it's helped. Hasn't stopped it completely, but it's helped just with the physical aspects of it. So, but second cup of coffee is required today. So I'm going to take a sip. And it is coffee. There's nothing else in it except for milk. I have reverted to a French press instead of using my coffee pot simply because I can control the amount of coffee I make. And I know there's decaf, and I know instant coffee has less caffeine and all of that too, but I grind my beans and I boil my water, and it's just a nice little ritual in the morning or whenever I make it now. So anyway, we're going to get into the knitting because I did get some knitting done this week. Not as much as I would hope a lot of the time, especially during Stash Dash, but considering how much I've also sewn and read, I can be quite pleased with what I've got done. So, I'm going to set that back down. One of my projects that I did work on, but I don't have here because it's buried under the product on the couch across the living room from me, is my sporty socks, which I've only got another inch on anyway, so. But they do count. I was working on them. The one, though, that does have visible progress. Oh. I thought that I hadn't Kitchenered this, but apparently I did. I knit the heel for Dallas's contrasted socks. Obviously, I haven't woven in any ends. But, yeah. Just an afterthought heel. I did knit 7. I'm following Laura Linneman's afterthought heel recipe, but I did 7 rows of stockinette before I started the decreases instead of 5. But I really like how it turned out, actually, especially with this speckling in it. We figured out that afterthought heels do actually fit Dallas quite well, which is nice. A little bit easier than short row heels, just because I don't have to Kitchener like 36 stitches. Okay. So normally what I would do for Dallas is I would, most of his socks are afterthought heels. I don't actually do even forethought, as in I put like a line of yarn, at least not anymore. But what I was doing last year was I would, last year I was putting in that line. So I pick up around the line of yarn, pull the waste yarn out, and then I would knit a short row heel and Kitchener, which worked. And I think the short row heels actually fit him better. But this is easier. I like being able to decrease down and only having to do, I decreased down to 12 stitches, I think, so 24 stitches around. Only having to Kitchener 12 stitches across instead of 36 is much nicer. But can always go back to the other way too. It depends on the sock, really. So I did get that one done, so that's a whole completely except for the ends. And then obviously this one I need to still put the heel into. So those will be done soon. Actually, now that I know that, I'll probably sit down and finish off the other heel this week. Well, actually, yeah, maybe that'll be something I take to Olds and finish off there, and then I can knit other socks. Maybe, we'll see. My socks are knit on US 1 2.25mm needles for fingering weight. My sport ones are being knit on a US 2 2.75mm needle. Chiaogus. I love the cord on the Chiaogus and the feel of the needle. The needle's nice and like consistent feel. And then the other thing I've worked on this week that's still a whip is my Waiting for Rain shawl by Soft Sweater or Sylvia Bobilvia on Ravelry. She's Soft Sweater on Instagram. And I'm through the third section of the shawl. This is something that I did take with me to Japan. So if you're looking for it, it's actually called Nihon Rain on my project page. But I especially like how that's turning out on the camera. It's really showing the colors nice. So the lace bits here that are wiggly are out of Madeline Tosh sock in the mineral colorway. And then these middle bits that are wiggly now, the garter stitch, is Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Mandala colorway, and I really like it. I don't know if I have another skein of Mandala, so it's not a worry if I have to use more, but I don't know if I'm gonna actually use this whole skein or not. In the shawl, I'm definitely not gonna get through all of the mineral in the lace panels, although she has given instructions for how to make it larger. And at this point, it's not that deep, so I might actually add more, although I do have quite a few more rows to do in between this third section and the fourth section of lace. So we'll see what happens. I'm really enjoying the pattern. It's clear. The only annoying thing was myself. I ripped this third lace bit out like 3 or 4 times before I finally got it. I think I was just like, I just lapsed in attention or something like that. I'm not quite sure what happened, but I kept screwing it up. Nothing wrong with the pattern, but you definitely need to pay attention to the lace sections. And like, it's clear if you're actually looking at it where stuff is supposed to go most of the time, but I don't know what it was. It wasn't sticking. So, I do have an FO and I'm wearing it. So this is the Antarctis by Janina Callio. Oh, and sorry, the Waiting for Rain is being knit on US 6 4.0mm needles. So this is the Antarctis by Janina Callio. It's my wingspan long, plus like a couple inches. I'm 5'8", so I would put this at 5'10". It's really long. I really like it. I like it's very simple. It's a 1 skein lace shawlette. You can wear it as a shawl, although I generally wear them as I would wear my shawlettes anyway, which is just kind of wrapped and tucked. And with my western shirt today, it looks very much like a bandana, but I really like it. It's knit with Joma Yarns Blingerino in their Princess colorway. It's an 84% merino, 16% stellina. So much sparkle in this, you guys. So much sparkle. And the colors now, I was looking at them earlier, really, really remind me of Tangled. So this is actually, I called this At Last I See the Light. Antarctis. Because At Last I See the Light is the song that I walked down the wedding aisle to. And I purchased this. Oh, I thought I purchased this on our honeymoon, but I didn't. I purchased it after our honeymoon. But still. It's also totally my colors, and it's sparkly. It's called Princess, so it all fits nicely. And it definitely reminds me of that scene, so it's the perfect name for it. And it's something I can totally wear down in Florida on some of the evenings. Although it does really blend in with this shawl here too, so who knows. Our shawl blends in with my shirt. This was also on US 6 4.0 millimeter needles. And it was 115 grams skein, and I used 110 grams out of 115. So that was a really good, like, perfect amount. So you can definitely make it out of a skein of sock yarn. Okay, so let's get on to the reading. So I finished, let's see. I said last time that I was reading Once Upon a Dream. I haven't picked that back up. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to return it to the library. It just isn't getting my attention, and I don't want to spend my time on stuff that isn't going to get my attention. I spent 4 years doing that with a lot of my books in university, and I'm getting tired of it. I did try to pick up a couple other books, and one I stopped as soon as I had read one paragraph that I was just like, oh, that's too cliche. It was something about the colorful gypsy men and the beautiful gypsy women. And just with the rest of the tone of it, I just was going to have a really hard time even getting into it. This was in the first couple of pages, and so I put that down. I tried another one and had to put that down. But I have read quite a bit of others because I had like a stack of 13 books on the side of my bed. So a couple of the ones I was really excited about, and I was super happy to finish the books last week so I could start these ones. So I started and finished The Winner's Kiss by Marie Rutkoski. Rutkoski, Rutkoski. Sorry. Ugh. And that was the third in the trilogy with The Winner's Kiss. Oh no, sorry. The Winner's Curse, The Winner's Crime, and The Winner's Kiss. Really good series. I really enjoyed it. Definitely an older teen series again. But it was really good. I really enjoyed that one. Then I read In the Labyrinth of Drakes by Marie Brennan, which was the next one in the A Natural History of Dragons, the memoirs of Lady Mary Trent. Or Lady Trent, sorry. So that was really good. That one came out in April, and I just got it from the library, so I was super happy to read that. Then I read The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. Roshani Chokshi. I don't know why I'm having such difficulty with that name. But, oh my goodness, I should start pulling down the blinds to, like, mitigate the glare. Anyway, so The Star-Touched Queen. This was so good. Oh my goodness, I finished this in about a day. So, highly recommended. All of these books I'm talking about right now are older teen. In the Labyrinth of Drakes is technically adult, or at least it's classified under adult, but I would still count it as older teen. Same as this one. But, so good. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Then the next one would be, 1,000 Nights by E.K. Johnston. Okay, so here's the thing. I love the covers of both of these. So cool. But the next, 1,000 Nights by E.K. Johnston, which is a retelling of 1,001 Nights. Scheherazade. Not much to say about it besides that. But I really enjoyed it. And then I read yesterday and last night, Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnelly, which is the start of a series. It's a mermaid story. And it's good too. I finished it really fast. That one's a really super easy read, but it's, again, really good. Well, I would say that 1,000 Nights and A Star-Touched Queen were better in some ways. They're all written really well. Deep Blue falls into a lot of the traps that a lot of young adults, like especially young adult directed towards girls, does, teenage girls. But it's yeah, I still really enjoyed it. It was a really easy read, and that's nice too. And the next book I'm going to be reading is Rogue Wave by Jennifer Donnelly, which is the second book in that series. And yeah, I couldn't put it down, so that's a good sign for it. And yeah, I've been enjoying that too. So what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, so that means that I'm actually at, like, after Deep Blue, I'm 45 out of 85 books for my Goodreads challenge for 2016. So I'm really excited about that. Really happy with my progress too. I think that's over 50%, and we're about halfway through the year, so that's always nice. So yeah, I should be able to stay on track for that. Hopefully I can actually do 90, because that would be 5 per month for the year, or 5 per year that it is, and that's kind of how I've been trying to do it. If I don't hit it, that's fine. 85 is a nice solid number, so. And I'm counting manga in that too, so that's part of the reason why, and I do have some more manga volumes to actually read before the end of the year. Okay, so on to Canada Cal. Alright, now I am going to add a couple rules for our version of the Cal that will not qualify in the Two Tangled Skeins, which are the main instigators for this Cal, simply to fit better in with what I offer for you guys for products. So the point of the Canada Cal is to use Canadian yarn or patterns by Canadian designers, or something that has like Canada in the name. So like Canadian designers soft sweater for this Waiting for Rain shawl. She's a Canadian designer, so that would count. Yarn from a Canadian dyer. Obviously, that's really easy. We've got a ton of amazing Canadian dyers. Two Tangled Skeins has actually started a list, and it's not exclusive. It's not everybody in Canada, and so I'll link to that as well. Heck, I'm going to be seeing a lot of these people in less than a week at Olds too. And I'm sure there's someone local to you or local-ish within Canada that dyes as well. So that counts. Or if it has a Canadian place name in the name. Or I'm going to also include if it has a Canadian name in the pattern. So I know there's been a couple patterns in interweave knits recently by American designers like Mount Robson, which is the highest peak in the Canadian Rockies. And there was one a few years ago, I think, called Winnipeg. So I would count those two. If you want to double dip with any of the other podcasters, Canada Cal, because this is a large group, double check their rules, but those would all qualify for me. And I'm going to offer also 25% off all of my designs on Ravelry. So I will put the discount code right here. This is my signal to myself when I'm editing. Put the discount code. And that's going to give you 25% off all my patterns on Ravelry. And the code is NK, so like N as in Nekozuki, K as in knits, Canada Cal. So NKCANADAKAL. And that's valid until September 30th, 2016. That's the end of the Cal. Obviously, if you purchase it on September 30th, you can't enter it into the Cal, but you may as well take advantage of it if you would like. I am going to start a chatter thread in the Ravelry group when this episode goes up, and the FO thread will be open July 1st. WIPs are accepted, and everything that I listed before. And then what I am going to add for our rules is that if you use one of my project bags, you can have an extra entry. So your project has to be somehow related to those 3 things that I outlined for what qualifies for me for the Canada Cal. Yarn dyer, Canadian yarn dyer, Canadian designer, or something relating to, in the name, to Canada. Or, sorry, I should add a 4th one to that one. if the yarn is somehow inspired by Canada. So like fishnet yarns, Hudson's Bay Stripes, I would totally count that. So yeah, if you have any questions about those, let me know and I can sort it out for you. But on top of that, if you were knitting your Canada item out of one of my bags, then you get 2 entries. You'll do separate entries, but the second entry has to show photographic proof that you were knitting from one of my bags. Excuse me. So yeah, and then I still haven't figured out prizes, but I will. There'll definitely be something from my shop, and there'll definitely be something from patterns, but I don't know what else I'm going to do from that. If you guys would like to donate a prize, obviously let me know. I will let you know. Yeah, I can give you my address. I will take prizes. On the note of patterns, actually, thank you to all my testers who are testing the Ridged for Your Pleasure patterns right now. I had a very good response to the socks, which is fantastic. And what's going to happen from this point is each of the patterns is going to be published separately. And then I'm going to do a collection as well. And so what's going to happen is I've got a few more ideas for patterns. Actually, I have a stash to show you that are going to be the patterns. I just haven't cast on yet. Excuse me. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to publish them separately, and then there's going to be a collection. And the collection is going to bring them all together. So you can purchase them together or separately. And then as the collection grows, like I design more patterns for it, I can only guarantee 2 more right now, but who knows, in the future I might continue. But right now, the collection would be published without those patterns, but if you were to purchase the collection, you get any more of the patterns as they come out. At the old price too. So as I add more patterns, the collection cost is going to go up a little bit each time I add a pattern. But if you were to purchase it now with just the 4 patterns, it'll be a set price. I don't know what that price is yet, and I don't really want to mention on the podcast either, but that's the idea I'm having right now. So like if I were to ever add another hat pattern, say, then there's another pattern right there, and you get that pattern automatically as well. There will be a knit-along that I will host in the group through whenever I release them, mid-July I think right now, to probably mid-August. I'll give you a month. Maybe actually end of August. I'll give you 6 weeks. So the cool thing about that is if you knit something from that collection, then you can also enter it for the Canada Cal. You totally double dip wherever you want with mine. And I know that that is a rule as well for 2 Tangled Skeins, is double dipping is fine too. If you are testing for me, you're more than welcome to enter your project in my Cal for the collection. Unfortunately, you won't be able to enter it into the Canada Cal if you've finished it. I know works in progress are accepted in the 2 Tangled Skeins one, and I will accept whips as well, but if you're testing for me, it should be done by July 1st. So yeah, I will write up all the details for both of these knit-alongs in the Ravelry group, which will be linked in the YouTube description box, and we'll go from there. And there will be prizes that are separate from the Canada Cal for the Ridged for Your Pleasure collection Cal as well. So let me take a drink of coffee so I can think straight here. And to try and get rid of the tickle. Excuse me. Okay, chatter. Our deck is still being built. I'm really excited to have it though. The pergola is up. I'm looking at it right now because it's right in my leg. It's behind you guys, behind my camera. Um, looks really good. He's got the railings going up as well, and it just finishes it really nice. The one side is finished for a fence, the other side is being built and finished. So I'm hoping within the next week we'll actually be able to have some deck time. I cannot wait until after Olds when I can take my spinning wheel out on the deck and spin. Especially in the sunshine right now. Although it's cooled down, it's super sunny. It's fantastic. Yeah, and not much else. I've been working a lot. And we went for a drive out in the mountains last week, which was really good. We haven't been out in the mountains very much, at least not for any like amount of time. So that was really nice to just take a drive. Drove out to Golden and then actually looped around and came back to Calgary, and that was really good. Went for dinner at the Magpie and Stump in Banff. Fantastic restaurant. It's been there since my parents were like living in Canmore and Banff, and it's been the same theme all along. And their Banffo burrito, which is like a buffalo burrito, was amazing. So it is amazing. It's so good. So we did that. And yeah, that's really all besides like what I've already talked about. Knitting. I haven't done any spinning this week. Lots and lots and lots of reading. Oh, and stash acquisitions and podcasts. I don't know why. Yeah, because I said that I need to chat about stash, chatter about the Ridge for Your collection, Ridge for Your Pleasure collection, and then products for Olds. Oh, and podcasts. So let's do stash first since I just pulled it out. The one thing I did want to talk about first is Ancient Arts Yarn is actually hosting a club. We're starting a yarn club with goodies. And I joined. And Old is going to be terrible for my yarn diet too. So, yeah, but that's a 6-month club. It's got shipments every 2 months. So 3 shipments total. And sign-ups run until July 1st. So I want to let you guys know so that you had a chance to go sign up if you'd like. It's open for another couple of weeks, approximately. And then the stash I did purchase that I have in my hands right now, it's no waiting, is the skein. And it's Manas del Uruguay Gloria. Sorry, I'm covering the price. Because you don't need to see how much I spend on wool. And the colorway is G9624 Nostalgia. And it's really pretty, and I am excited to use it, and this is going to be another part of my design collection. Super gorgeous. And yes, I do know how to skein wool better than that, but it's just going to be caked up after Olds anyway. Then the other one I got is Malabrigo Mecca in Arape. I don't know how to pronounce that. I think it's Arape. And this is a single. I hesitate to call this a bulky. It's not worsted either. This is technically a worsted, the Gloria. I would put this closer maybe to an Aran. Heavy Aran. Nah, just Aran. It's a single. And yeah, I was only going in for one skein, but these colors called to me. And I know I'm going to Olds in a week, but so gorgeous. So these are both going to be for designs into the Rich for Your Pleasure collection. So you can see those probably actually in a week or so once I actually sit down to like, really all I have to do is sit down and cake them and then knit them and then write them up. Because you know, that's not a lot of work at all. That was sarcastic. It was a lot of work. But you should see the finished product in the next couple of weeks. So, and then I did want to chat because as I get into the finishing moments of my show prep, sorry if there's any bad jumps there. My camera was like, hey, guess what? You need to pause your recording and start it up again. Anyway, as I get into the last little bit of my show prep, I start to watch a lot of podcasts because a lot of my work is I sew, so I don't really listen to anything because I don't have wireless headphones. Blah blah blah. I got a whole bunch of excuses, but I like to actually listen to my podcasts and watch them because most of them are video. But as I get into this final few steps, it's tagging and ironing and like tags and stuff like that into the bags. So that means that I can actually listen and watch podcasts. So I've been catching up with a lot of the ones I'm subscribed to, like Knitting Expat and Fibre Dyeworks, and I'm officially through all of the Fat Squirrel Fibers, Amy Beth's podcasts. I started her last year. It's taken me the year to get through them. Granted, I did take a break in there when I wasn't sewing, but it's taken a while. She's got a really large back catalog, and last year it was the Knit Girls that I went through the whole set of podcasts. Anyway, I wanted to give a shout out to Die Another Day, who I know their Instagram names. It's the Cozy Knitter and Yarn Enabler, Amanda and I should have written down their names. Anyway, they are another couple of Canadian podcasters and yarn dyers, and they are out east, and I'm going to find her name. I know that the Yarn Enabler is Amanda, and then the Cozy Knitter is Christina. There we go, that's what I thought it was. Anyway, super cute. I love the fact that they're Canadian, they're yarn dyers, and yeah, I'm really enjoying the podcast. I've caught up on the last 3 episodes that I'd missed, and yeah, just wanted to give you ladies a shout out. I haven't watched really any other new ones though. Oh, I am catching up watching latest episodes of Pin Feathers and Pearls, who is Candace. She lives in Calgary, so I try and keep up with that one as best as I can too. Okay, so that's everything. If you aren't hanging around to see what I'm bringing to Olds, I will chat with you all. It's not going to be next week. It's going to be, well, it's not going to be next Monday. It's going to be next Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, so I will talk to you all in just over a week. Oh, and there will be lots of stash enhancement because of Olds. If you're coming to Olds and you're still not watching any of this like product placement / self-promotion, come say hi and make sure to introduce yourself, please. I am really bad with names, especially when I know you by your Instagram or Ravelry name. I might know your Ravelry name or I might know your Instagram name, but I need a like, please come up and be like, I'm so-and-so, and I am Nikozuki Knits on Instagram, just so I know who I'm talking to. Because like I say, I'm really bad, especially between, like, if you're coming up from social media and chatting with me. So yeah. I have a little bit of coffee left in my French press. I'm super excited for Olds. I love doing in-person events because this is a very lonely job. That's part of the reason why I love doing the podcast so much. And is that I get to talk to you all for however long every week. Granted, the last few weeks have been a lot longer than normal too, so I hope that that's okay. It'll get back to a more normal 20 minutes, half hour length after Olds for sure. Okay. And why I'm recording today is because I am done everything that's going to be original. Anything else I finish at this point is going to be duplicates or custom order. I did actually get a custom order, so I have to finish that up before Olds. Yeah, and then the other thing is that at Olds, because it falls on my birthday is June 20th, I am actually starting to offer a 15% off all of my products except for clearance, June 20th to June 27th, 2016. So if you are at Olds, come up and see me on the Monday because you'll get 15% off. If you're purchasing online, starting on June 21st, I believe. Depends on when I get my shop reopened after Olds, just how busy it is on the Monday. The coupon code is going to be, however, Birthday Bash 2016, which will get you 15% off everything except for clearance. So yeah, I'm going to get into it because my camera is flashing that it is running out of battery. So, I have pulled apart the kits for the Stay-Pen Cal. You can still get the yarn from Yarn Inc. and you can still get the pattern from me, but we've pulled apart the kits. So that means that you get to start purchasing the bag. I will have more of sorry, there's pink hair now everywhere and it really stands out. Anyway, you can start purchasing the bag. The fabric will be available at Knit City. I didn't get anything else done for olds in this fabric. Needle stashes galore. Hedgehogs. Marvel Comics. I have to say, I got a snap press and it is amazing for doing these up. Feathers. Treasure chests. Kimono print. These work for both DPNs and circ needles. Cupcakes. 2 different directions of cupcakes. Afternoon tea and sweets. More cupcakes on pink. Cats, cats, cats. Sakura. Halloween. Pumpkin Kings. Cupcakes on red. Cupcakes on yellow. Cupcakes on teal. Sure, let's go with teal. I'm not quite sure what else to call that otherwise. Cats. Crazy cats on black. Multicolored knit stitch. Pink tonal knit stitch. That's really blowing out, but there we go, that's better. Black cats with lacy doilies. And then a whole whack of black and white cats on pink. So there are a bunch of duplicates in there too. I didn't show you everything that was duplicated. Then Notions pouches. Welcome Home Cat. There's 2 of them. They both have a little bit different print on them. Same thing for the Marvel. Retro Comics. I love these ones. These are patchwork pouches. A little bit smaller than my normal Notions pouch, but super cute. Or wild, whichever you would prefer. And then a feather pouch. These will look better once they're actually closed up. There. Feathers. And then new products. So all of this is new. I've chatted about most of them before, but they're new. I'm not going to show you all of these because there's too many. But I am doing progress keeper / stitch markers / zip pulls now. So they're on a lobster clasp with something on them. Yeah, and you can use them to like mark your progress on knitting. You can use them as crochet stitch markers, or you can use them as zip pulls for your bags. And then the new things. And sorry if I'm rushing, my camera is still flashing on me. I did a whole bunch of the Gigantor bags. These are just going to be known as the big bag. Brand new product. And they're a little bit different from my other wedge bags. This is a wedge bag. As in they have an actual fabric handle, and then they've got a longer pull tab on the other end as well from ribbon. So there's going to be sushi print. And this is literally a blanket bag. So like I've got my whole vivid blanket and all the extra yarn and all the squares, and I can still fit like 1 or 2 other fingering weight projects in it. So this is intended to be used by people like, okay, my large wedge and box bag currently are sized to hold the yarn for a worsted weight 42-inch bust sweater. And normally it can hold the yarn for the sleeves as well. This gives you more wiggle room for that. So if you need a larger size circumference sweater, or you're using a heavier weight yarn or something like that, this is your bag. Whereas my large wedge bags, they will actually hold 2 skeins of Cascade Eco Plus. This will give you the extra room to actually knit your sweater and put it back into the bag. But anyway, colorful calico cats. Colorful calico cats. Pink tab. These all have coordinating handles. Polka dots. This is one of the first fabrics I bought people. That's the other thing that this is awesome for, is I actually used up stash fabric. I am all about using stash up this year. Fabric and yarn. Cats with butterflies and roses. I've got pink and excuse me. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for this. Pink and beige of that one. This is the stash fabric. Space. And I'm going to start putting on all my tags, actually what is Japanese fabric and what is not. Whether I've purchased it there myself or I've purchased to have it shipped to me, I'm going to start saying that for you guys, just so you know, because it is a little bit more special than some of my other choices. Rainbow unicorns. This is another long stash fabric. I've had this one and this one in my stash for 2.5 years. I'm so glad that I waited. But it's time for them to be gone. Because I could never decide with this one. Do I make small bags? Do I make big bags? What do I make with this one? So it's one big bag. And those are both one of a kinds. There's no more fabric of this. And then this one. I couldn't... Okay, so I planned this one as carefully as I could. And it couldn't have come out better, to be honest. It's so pretty. There's a handle. And look at the bottom. They're all across the bottom of this bag and they look like they're stepping on it. Even when you like fluff out the wedge. Let's fluff out the wedge. Look at that. It looks like they're walking on it. I love it so much. This is the only one. I got a custom order for the other fabric, and one is staying home with me because I can't get any more of this fabric, which makes me really sad, and I need one for myself. I'm sorry guys, but yeah, this one will be available at Olds. And then the back is that scattered floral kind of print. And then finally, the last new product is something completely different. So lots of people have been waiting to get needle cases from me, and I'm starting to offer a needle envelope is what I'm dubbing this. Sorry, it takes a little bit to get myself organized here. I'm actually not going to close it. So, super thick interfacing, so it's really stiff. You can see that. It doesn't flop like my bags. Couple little buttons here so you can actually close it up by like one of those like interdepartment envelopes, and I've sewn them on like I would sew buttons onto a baby sweater, so they're not going anywhere anytime soon, at least hopefully not. So yeah, so you can do it up like that. And I've left a lot of extra ribbon just so that once you actually start putting stuff in, you have extra ribbon to like wrap around. And then on the inside is this. So there's 2 pockets down here. This is for circular needles or DPNs, although these pockets are quite large, so they need to be quite large DPNs, designed with circular needles in mind. And then there is, this one only has 1 large pocket. My other ones do have 2 pockets in here. So, and then it also has a notions pouch. So there's that print. This one's completely finished with the buttons. There's a couple others here that I haven't quite finished that way yet. But those are new and will be offered. So then there's more polka dots. And same thing inside. So there's 1 pocket, 2 pocket, and then there's actually, this one does have the 2 pockets. 1 pocket and 2 pocket. Excuse me. And then a notions pouch as well. This is a zippered pouch, so you can put whatever you need into there. And then I haven't gotten the buttons on it, but this one will close with buttons as well. Again, holds up nice. This one is a little bit different. This was one of the first ones I made. This Notions pouch actually is at the bottom, so when you hold it up, it flops out. I didn't like that, so this one is going to be a little bit less, but it's only got one pocket on each side, so that's part of the reason as well. Still experimenting, so this is the prototype. I still like it. Still turned out really well, but I will be offering it a little bit of a discount. Not much, because these are a lot of work and they take a lot of. The interfacing is not the cheapest. Not like it is anyway. Like, a lot of the costs of the bags are the little things that you have to add in. Like, you have to add in stuff to like make your bag a bag kind of thing. And so interfacing is one of those invisible costs. And the interfacing for these, because it's thick and sturdy, is remarkably more expensive than the ones that I use for the bags themselves. Even if I use double interfacing, it's still quite an expense. So this is the final one. This is the tatting one. So I am only going to have four olds, because these are kind of something that I just added in. Just figured out how I wanted to make them. It is something that I've been playing around with, but I just hadn't taken the time to actually figure out what I was doing. Yeah, this is the other one, which I'm seeing. There we go. I'm gonna have to iron that down for you. I have top stitched where it folds, so that's where I'm kind of trying to fold it. May not. Obviously, once you put stuff in, it's not gonna fold there anyway. I really like this one. I like the interior of this one with the pins. This one's also got 2 pockets though, on both sides now. So it's got 12 pockets total, and then the Notions pouch. So this will be the final design. So these ones will be at the full cost. This one and the polka dots will be at full cost. The Sakura will also be at full cost, because that's the last piece of that fabric as well. And then the yellow one with the elastic and button closure is going to be have a little bit of a price reduction, simply because it was the complete prototype for this endeavor. So that's all I have to talk about. Again, if you are at Olds, come up and say hi. Please introduce yourself in a way that I will probably know you. So if we've only ever interacted on Ravelry or Instagram, please include your username and then your name, just so I know who you are and a little bit more context. I'm really looking forward to it. I really like doing, like I said, doing these in-person events, because I get to see you guys that do watch the podcast. And if you do watch the podcast, mention that too, because it's really cool to meet you outside of the computer screen or outside of my camera that I'm currently talking to, hoping that someone is listening. But I hope that you guys all have a wonderful week if you aren't coming to Olds. If you are coming to Olds, have a wonderful week too. And I will chat to you all next week after the show. And yeah, happy crafting everyone, and talk to you soon. Bye.